Hello, everyone. I am Billy Price, co-founder of BILLY Footwear, and welcome to another episode of Open Book. One of the words that I absolutely love is the word grit, Grit, because it speaks on so many levels about having a heart, an unwielding heart that wants to drive forward and tackle anything that's in its way, and just this persistence to try to overcome. And today on screen with us, we have two amazing people. Miss Felicia Flewelling. She is a loving mom, a loving wife, a published author of the book, This Girl's Got Grit, and her daughter is also in the frame, Miss Frankie. Felicia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So there is so many things that we can cover on this conversation, but I think a great place to start would be telling the inspiration behind the book, This Girl's Got Grit.
Wow. So I really never thought that I would ever write a book. I'll say that. I never thought I'd write a book. The reason why I wrote this book was because when Frankie started, I guess in preschool, now she's in elementary, I would often get questions from her peers like, why does Frankie walk like that? Or why does Frankie talk like that? And for her, it's because she has aphasia, she has a really hard time expressing herself. I thought, you know what? I'm not that I'm constantly asked questions like this, but I got to a point where I thought, I want to be able to tell her story. I want to give her a voice. And I want to write a book, a children's book, that will hopefully be eye-opening for kids, but hopefully answer a lot of those questions that they have and had. So that's kind of how this book was born. I just wanted to give her a voice. I wanted to let people know that, it's hard to teach empathy, I think. But I wanted people to learn, or to be reminded that everyone is different. There's a reason why this person might walk this way, or this person might talk this way, or this person is waving their hands like that. There's a reason. Everybody has a story. So this was my platform. This was my way to tell her story to the universe. And that's how the book was born. It was out this June, actually. So it's a dream come true for me, no doubt.
So I have the book. I've read the book. It's an absolute amazing book. And it was such a treat to not only read it for myself, but also read it to my 2-year-old. And there's so many elements of the book that I can touch on. I mean, one, the word grit. Can you talk about that word grit? I mean, it's just a word that I love, but just kind of tell me what that word means to you.
It means working towards a goal, just being persistent. I feel as though she was born with grit, I feel. Even at the school, the last few years, she gets this award for persistence. She's unstoppable. I feel, even when she's running in PE, she won't stop until not that she's going to pass out, but she won't stop. She's very persistent, and I know that she's got goals, and she keeps working towards those goals. We constantly have, obviously our milestones were delayed, but she's just a hard worker, for lack of a better word. I can't think of a better word. She's a strong girl. And now that she's 10. Oh, now we got a little sassiness too, along with that grit. So that's a lot of fun.
So some other elements of the book that I loved. I mean, it was touching on elements where Frankie may not necessarily be able to participate in everything, but she's still present. She's encouraging others to go on. So it really spoke of this inclusive environment, as well as there was an element in there talking about just disabilities in general, that if everyone were the same, how boring would that be?
Right. Absolutely. How boring would that be if everybody was the same? Again, there are kids. This book isn't really just about cerebral palsy. It's about kids that have all sorts of differences. You know, on top of cerebral palsy, Frankie has epilepsy, and she has an intellectual disability as well. Acceptance and inclusion. Inclusion is such a powerful word, and one that I definitely wanted to portray through this book, no doubt.
And then the last page that really got me, it wasn't necessarily the book, but it was talking about kind of the story of what brought the book together. And it was touching on your journaling, touching on your blog, touching on working with, you know, support groups, and just talking about that unanswerable question, why me? And I know there's a lot of emotion attached to that. Can you touch on that?
Yes, absolutely. I've often asked, why me? You know, why us? Why did this happen to us? And I don't know if you want me to go into the story now, but Frankie, my husband, and I, Mark, were on our baby moon in Savannah, Georgia. Baby moon is just your last hurrah before you have a baby, your last vacation. And I noticed that I really hadn't felt her move. I was 32 weeks pregnant. And I remember the doctor in my mind. I remember her saying, if you don't feel the baby move, you probably, you know, within 12 hours, you probably need to go get checked. So we actually found a hospital close by, and the hospital, we quickly, well, not quickly drove, but after giving it a few more hours, we decided, I'm just going to go get checked, you know, and then we'll go on with our day. So going in there, the doctor, you know, they zapped me. They tried to get the Frankie's heart rate to fluctuate because it was stagnant. And they couldn't get it to fluctuate, but there was a heart rate. So I thought, okay, we're going to be out of here anytime, you know, a few minutes, we'll be out of here. Well, he leaves and he comes back and he says, ma'am, I'm afraid we're going to have to deliver now. And I was like, deliver what? Like pizza? Deliver what? And he said, deliver your baby. And I thought, oh, that was the scariest day and moment of my entire life. Not knowing if she was okay, not knowing what would happen to her. And then, of course, being wheeled into an emergency C-section. That's scary, too. So that day, you know, that day she was born at 3 pounds. She was 32 weeks. And everything seemed okay. We lived in a hotel there in Savannah for 3 weeks while she was in the NICU. After she was dismissed, after she was released, we were sent home with an apnea monitor, but everything was fine. We thought everything was fine other than the fact that she needed to gain weight. And so when she was 5 months old, we noticed she wasn't using her right hand to grab at toys, to grab at things. So that was my red flag. We went to our pediatrician's appointment early, 1 month early, and she thought, yeah, there's something up. So she sent us to an orthopedic doctor and then also a neurologist. And that's when we got the word hemiparesis, which is now hemiplegia. Now that's what we know as hemiplegia. So when she was 5 months old, they said, you know, you need to get an MRI of the brain just so we can see what's going on. And something inside me was telling me, you know what, I don't know. I don't want to have her go through anesthesia knowing that she's okay. Let's just treat the symptoms. So we immediately got her into therapy, physical therapy and feeding therapy. She needed feeding therapy as well. And so, you know, the years went on, and then when she was 4 years old, that's when she had her first seizure. Mm-hmm. The second scariest day of my life. So we quickly took her to the emergency room. It was at one of those standalone, you know, clinics, and they did a CAT scan. And I'll never forget the doctor calling me in and saying, ma'am, you need to come and see this, you know, the picture. And so not being a radiologist or a neurologist, I'm looking at it, but I'm seeing this like huge thing that he's pointing at. She has a rather large lesion on the left side of her brain called a porencephalic cyst. So he said, we need to transport her to Children's Hospital for an MRI. So there we go. She gets her MRI. The doctor there says, wow, I can't, if I were to see this MRI on an adult, it would be doubtful that they are walking and talking like your daughter is. And so that's when we got this. Well, I think the cerebral palsy words actually that diagnosis came sooner than that. But that was very eye-opening, knowing that we were going to have to deal with seizures, but knowing that this thing is so large, I just was like, is it progressive? Is it going to get worse? I just had all these questions. And so they said more than likely it's non-progressive, and more than likely she had a stroke in utero, which means that sometime when she was in my belly, she had a stroke. Kids can have strokes too. So, that's when I thought, you know what? I'm so glad that I did not get the MRI when she was younger, because I felt as if I did, I'm more than certain the doctors would have said, she's not going to walk, she's not going to talk. And I don't think I would have pushed her as hard. I really don't think I would have pushed her as hard had I seen what I saw when she was 4. So she is she's amazing. She is progressing so well. She's been in therapy ever since. And she's doing doing great. She amazes me every day. And we are just so proud of her. What a story, right? So, like I said, she's still in therapy. She has an intellectual disability as well. She is in a mainstream classroom, but she has special ed services and resources there that help her. Wow. So that's
So I mean, your story is absolutely just so precious and incredible. I mean, on so many different levels. And I just kind of touch on more some of the support groups that you were with, like talking with other parents. Like what kind of time frame were we talking about in terms of age of how old Frankie was?
Really good question. I actually, right after we got that diagnosis, I immediately went and Googled hemiplegia, and I quickly found this support group called CHASA, which I love, Children's Hemiplegia and Stroke Association. I really think that they saved my sanity, because they answered so many questions that I had. I was able to vent. I was able to, even cry with some of them, and gain a lot of advice and actually give support. Once Frankie, now it's great because I'm able to help other parents, I hope, and caretakers of kids that have cerebral palsy. Yeah, that's my goal. One of my many goals is to help other families, caretakers, parents, kids, to give them a better understanding of what cerebral palsy is. A lot of people don't even know. When I first saw the words, I saw in one of your other episodes, another lady who felt the same way. You see the word cerebral palsy and you think, what? You don't know. It's such a broad spectrum. Someone can have a crooked pinky and that's it, and have cerebral palsy. So there's just, wide array of challenges that they can have. So
yeah, and the thing is, even with that wide array of challenges, inherently we always ask ourselves, why me? And it's such a hard question, because it's an unanswerable one. I mean, you could ask why me to anybody and there is no answer. You're not going to find an answer.
Right.
But it's in those support groups when it's a safe space to be able to ask the question, because everyone's sharing the same question.
Right.
And it's not necessarily like you're looking for, obviously you're looking for an answer, but even though you're not getting an answer, being together in that, supportive group, it's amazing how much strength can come out of shared weakness.
Absolutely. And with the whole why me, You know, I asked myself that for years, and I blamed myself. You know, the day before I had her, I got on the elliptical machine, and I knew where my heart rate should be. I had actually had my perinatal fitness certification. I knew it had to be within a certain level, so I was very careful. I also got a perinatal massage. You know, we were at a spa place. I mean, that was the point, is just to relax, right? And I thought, you know, even though I got the green light, should I not have gotten the perinatal massage? Was it the elliptical machine that I was on? I mean, I was doing all the right things, but the guilt and the why me, you know, I finally just let it go, like the Frozen song. I just let it go, and it was hard. It was hard to let it go, but I had to. And you know, Frankie, she's our only child, so this is our normal. She's our normal. You know, this is our normal life. I know of no other. So
I mean, as I say, your story just inspires me on so many different levels, and there's so much overcoming there. But there's going to be a lot of folks that are watching us right now and listening in later. Just curious, like, I'm in it right now. I'm struggling. I'm heartbroken, and they're looking for support. So for that type of parent viewing in, what is there something you can offer up, like some sort of words of encouragement?
Oh gosh, there are so many. Again, what I would highly recommend they do is to join a support group. There are so many out there. I could name a few right now. I have some on my website that are great. There are so many, but for me, I think the best advice is to talk to people about it. Just open up. You know, I used to be so private, and then I realized, you know, the more I started telling my story, the better I felt, and the more knowledge I gained, you know. And so know that I hope those parents and caregivers and people know that they're not alone, you know, and I'm always here. They can message me. I would be happy to lend an ear, even, you know, give them advice if I can. But again, I think the support groups is huge. Blogging for me was huge. Getting it all out. Oh, it feels so good. It's so therapeutic to get it all out. You know, like this show is therapeutic. I mean, it's great to be able to share our story, and I'm hoping that, you know, some of the listeners can can understand that. I've said this like 3 times, that they're not alone. You know, this is a cruise ship. This is, you know, and we're just riding the wave. And it's great to ride the wave with others. That's for sure.
Very much so. Very much so. It's always good to have a buddy, for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned the website. Can you share what the website is?
Yes, it's www.thisgirlsgotgrit.com.
And then on social, how can they find you?
On social media, on Instagram, my handle is This Girl's Got Grit. And then I also have, we have a group on Facebook called United We've Got Grit. And then I also have a page. There's so many. It's hard to keep up. We have a page on Facebook, This Girl's Got Grit, as well. So the group was really, I was hoping that it would be more of an intimate setting, so that, you know, people or families like ours with kids that have challenges can go in there and just open up and get it all out. And that's what that group page was for. I don't want to confuse everybody, but This Girl's Got Grit Facebook page is more, it's like a business page. So
okay. Well, it has been absolutely a sincere pleasure of mine. I mean, it's been a pleasure of mine to have you on the show, both you and Frankie. And I'm reminded of the way we got connected was you made an Instagram post of Frankie in a pair of shoes, and it said #This Girl's Got Grit. I knew nothing about the book, but the word grit really caught my heart, and I saw that and I reached out, and then it just led into this much larger conversation. And I'm just so thankful for, you know, you making that post, but also to be able to allow like this kind of conversation to have, that we can share it with so many other people.
Thank you. Speaking of those shoes that she was wearing, I just would like to show people that, you know, these shoes are great quality. We are the biggest fans. I think Frankie, I told you she has like 6 or 7 pair of shoes. She's wearing the leopard booties today, which you can't see. It's hard for her to kick up her leg, but the shoes are high quality. They're great, but they're not doggy proof. These were brand new. They were brand new, and now they're like, I'm just telling you, they're like peep toe booties, peep toe.
So apparently Frankie's not the only one who loves the shoes. Apparently the dog does as well, but more as a chew toy.
Oh, Penny. Oh my gosh, yeah, she went to town with this shoe. And unfortunately, these I know right now are discontinued. Or maybe
we're out of stock on those, unfortunately, on our website, but some of our partner stores still have those shoes.
Okay. Yeah, these are one of her favorites. So, yeah, but we absolutely love, and all the cute designs that you have, that, you know, we love the fact that they're easy to put on and take off. And the fact that Frankie does wear orthotics, you can't really see them right now. She has an AFO and an SMO.
Okay.
So one is tall, the other one's short. And so her right side is not as strong as the left. So the right needs a little bit more support. But these shoes fit over the orthotics so well. So we love them. I'm afraid to put it down right now because Penny will take it, but it's okay because they're already ruined, right? Not really. Not really.
Well, everyone listening in, this is the book, This Girl's Got Grit. Be sure to check it out. It's a very inspiring, there it is right there, a very inspiring story. Speaks of inclusion, speaks of grit, speaks of overcoming, and it speaks of an amazing, amazing gal, which is Frankie. So before I sign us off, Felicia, one more opportunity to have the mic. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to share that's on your heart?
Just that we love your shoes. We're your biggest fans. No, we just thank you so much for this opportunity. I was truly very honored because we are, like I said, huge Billy fans. And yeah, thanks so much for having us. We will continue to buy shoes. And actually, I am going to order a pair of shoes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
They are
well, we always have new designs coming out. So 2021 is going to be a very, very special, spectacular year. So look forward to big things.
Yeah, no, we're excited. We are so excited. No, thank you so much. And the book you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much any bookstore online. But thank you so much again for having us.
Well, Felicia, Frankie, thank you for your time. Everyone else listening in, this was another episode of Open Book. We'll have another one next week. Until then, take care.
Bye.